Now guys, I do need that 1,000 subscribers. And I'll tell you, I'm going to check into the Patreon, which everybody's telling me to stay away from Patreon and all this other stuff, but I do need more camera equipment. I don't have the best camera equipment, and that valve cover's got to come off. So that I can provide you with better videos, I do need better equipment. Because once this thing hits the wind, I am going to need that fuzzy microphone. Because the only thing I can't stand in a video is whenever you're listening to a video and all of a sudden the music is louder than the person speaking, or the perfect silence of actually sailing is destroyed by a microphone picking up wind, or the wind louder than the person talking. And the other thing that I can't stand on videos, and I'll actually stop watching videos, when you've got your phone in your hand and you turn your phone this way, and then I've got a black screen or fuzzy color, and I'm having to watch half of this on the TV that I'm casting it to. Turn that phone that way. Hey, there's water in the first aid kit. What do you think? Throw it in the trash. So, I mean, you know, come on, take some time, realize that we all want to watch stuff on widescreen. Don't have shaky cameras. I mean, I did take off whenever I was driving a truck. I wanted pretty good steady video. Now, there were no dash cams whenever I started doing what I was doing. I was actually putting a mini VHS cassette video recorder in the truck on the tripod that this is sitting on right now. I paid way too much for that camera tripod because it was only a few months later that it was a fraction of the price. And I don't know, I should have got it on clearance or something, but I didn't. Because I had somebody had hit my truck, and they tried their best to claim that I hit them. Thank goodness there was a little guy from Costa Rica. He was there holding the workers' flag. He spoke just enough English, and I spoke just enough Spanish. Habla poquito español. Necesito maestra or maestro to be better. My Spanish-speaking friends will understand that. But I speak a little bit of Spanish, but I need a teacher. I don't care if it's a man teacher or woman teacher is what I said. But I need to learn more Spanish. So anyway, okay, I'm trying to figure out how to get this vent tube out and stay on the little story I'm telling you while I'm doing this. He come over and he said, no. That woman rear-ended that truck driver. He was out front of the truck. He had it in park, engine cut off, in gear, parking brake set. He was trying to explain to me that he needed more room to turn with a 53-foot trailer on the back of that truck. And the cars were coming up and coming across the stop line, coming on the intersection, so that I could not actually make the turn. I would have crushed cars trying to make a left-hand turn. So he was going to stop the next flow of traffic. He was going to step back about 40 feet so that I had both lanes to come out and make that big left turn with that 53-foot trailer on, because I'd just come out of the, can't remember if I was in Oklahoma or, anyway, I just come out of Cummins Onan dealership, and I couldn't get out and make the turn. I think I was in Arkansas. But, I mean, that was 1995, so it's kind of hard to remember that far back. So anyway, what I'm rambling on about is she got out and started throwing stuff under my truck from a previous car accident she had had with her car. And because he told that, the trooper wrote her a ticket for falsifying a police report, and I think he wrote her one for something else. But anyway, the paper later read that she got arrested for making false 911 calls, and she also got arrested for insurance fraud. Yes, insurance fraud. That's the two things that got her. And they put the paper of that up in the company where I was driving, and they said, then I had a guy cut in front of me and slam on brakes and tried to get me to hit him, and then he actually jumped out with a pistol. And after it was all said and done, that man didn't have a pistol anymore. And I wish there would have been YouTube back then, because I would have sure loved to have still had that video, because I would have put that on YouTube. Little did he know, this old fat man used to teach martial arts and self-defense. So he wasn't able to hold a gun, or probably even had to drink till a straw after that incident was over. Take a break. I'm going to break this loose, so I don't have 30 minutes of me trying to get one old rotten hose loose. Okay, it came out. I left this attached. I just had to twist this around a little bit and make it bend a few times and get it out. Now, I've got an old piece of plywood laid here to lay the greasy parts on so I don't get grease all over everything else again in it. I'm hoping that I can leave this attached to this so that I don't have to continue to keep getting gaskets. The gaskets are sealed, so I mean, I just want to see what this engine actually looks like. And we're going to have to take the rocker assembly off. To reach the center head bolts. Now, you'll notice that each head has each cylinder, not head, only has one head. Each cylinder has a total of 6 bolts around each cylinder. Now, what this will give you is a perfect seal around each cylinder, because this is a pretty stout little engine. And what it does is it has the 6 bolts around each one. However, these 2 around this cylinder are shared with this cylinder, and these 2 around this cylinder are shared with this cylinder. So you've got it to where these 2 on the very end are actually doing the least amount of work. Won't come off unless you undo it. Come on, Pop. Get your head in the game. Now, another thing I'm having trouble doing is I'm having trouble finding literature to replace all the wet literature for my Catalina yacht and for my, didn't mean to bring the push rod out with it, and for my Universal engine. I've got rust on the push rods, so I know it's been submerged. But I do have oil in top of the cylinder head. Now that could be a good thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay these over here in the order they come out on this scrap sacrificial piece of wood. And hopefully nobody comes in here when I'm not around and decides they're going to move everything for me. Okay, so we're disconnected. We need to disconnect this line also. This should be a fuel return line, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to need to undo the glow plug main wire. Now, I grabbed this with the pliers just because it's a little round thing. There is a screwdriver slot that's kind of offset on it, like right here. And I really don't trust grabbing that with a screwdriver. I'm afraid I would break it off because it looks like it might be a brass nut. But all I'm going to do is disconnect that one wire so that I can lift the head out. Hopefully I can. If not, my cousin will make fun of me. The reason my cousin would make fun of me is he's a master diesel mechanic. He's washed more knowledge off of his hands than I'll ever have for a diesel engine. Paint's a little thick on that nut bolt. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be a metric. When I torque it back, it will be metrics I torque it back with. I say when. If I torque it back, I'll torque it back with metrics. Because you don't want to have any play if you're torquing something together. And this does feel like it has just a couple thousandths of an inch of slip on top of it. I don't know if it's from the paint or from it not being the right metric size, or because I like to use the sockets I'm using, which may have a little bit of stretch in them. Let's see if we can get this rascal out of here. So they look up and under it and see if it's flexing around the bolt. No, it's tight fit. It's just the paint on it, I guess. I think I'm a little tighter than the paint's allowing me to be. But we can take care of it. Not a big problem at all. We'll stick old Mr. Screwdriver right down the hole. Right in the bilge, where I didn't want you to be. Alright, in the bucket with you. Loosened. Well, there's a problem. I'm going to have to bend these up a little bit, get them out of my way. Got one bolt right there, I think.
I'd like to thank you for hanging in through this episode of disassembling the small universal diesel engine. We will continue on the next episode, taking right up from where we left off. I'd like to ask you to subscribe, like, and follow us here on YouTube.